So the JOKR is a very difficult weapon to get gold camo on, so today I'm going to share with you how to unlock gold camo on the JOKR launcher in Modern Warfare 2 as fast and as easily as possible. If you want help with any other camo challenges, then check out my Modern Warfare 2 camo guide playlist via the card on screen or link in the description, and if you have any specific struggles, leave a comment and I'll try to make a guide on it. If you want to jump to a specific part of the video, there'll be timestamps in the description, as I appreciate not everyone will need all the information. Be sure to leave a like if you find it useful, but without further ado, let's get into the tips. So to earn gold camo on the JOKR, you need to first do several things. You first need to level up the launcher to level 11 to unlock the base camo challenge. Now once you're at level 11, there's only one base camo challenge for the JOKR, and that base camo challenge says get 40 kills with the JOKR, and then once you get the 40 kills you unlock the gold camo challenge, which is get 2 kills without dying 10 times with the JOKR. Once you complete that final challenge, you'll unlock gold camo for the weapon. Now these challenges may sound quite tricky, but we'll go through it to make the camo grind as hassle-free as possible. Very quickly, a class for all of the challenges in today's video is going to be the same. So for the perks, you're going to want to put on double time and tracker in tier 1, spotter so you can see enemy equipment, vehicles, kill streaks, that kind of thing in tier 2, and overclock in tier 3 to allow you to earn your field upgrade faster and store 2 of them at once, and that's going to be very important for the guide. Then for your tactical equipment, you're going to want to put on the decoy grenades, as this is going to give you weapon XP towards leveling up your JOKR, but obviously after you've leveled it up and you're working on the other challenges, you can obviously switch this to something else like a stun grenade or a stim or anything else you want. For the field upgrade, you want to put on the munitions box, and this is so that you can get 1 extra rocket per box. Finally, for the kill streak, you can put on the UAV and or counter UAV as well. Just kind of find where enemies are and stop them from seeing you. Okay, let's quickly talk about the tips for actually using the JOKR better to get more kills and so on, and then we'll talk about how to level up the JOKR, the base camo challenge and the gold camo challenge. So my important tips, so because the launcher only has 2 rockets at spawn, you'll need to find other ways of getting more ammo. So this can be through ammo stores, on the larger maps, or munitions boxes. Like I say, you can easily get 2, they'll spawn 1 and then another one quite quickly, so that'll get you 2 rockets, 1 in each. And then what you can do is you can keep going between different ammo reserves, because there's a sort of a cooldown period, and that will get you quite a few extra rockets in one life. If after a while you're struggling to get more, obviously you can just kill yourself and start again. You cannot shoot the launcher from inside a building unless you're standing right next to a window, as the rocket moves up and forward, and therefore it will kind of crash into a wall or the ceiling if you're near one, and obviously that will kill you. So make sure you're kind of standing in an open area. If you're standing right next to an open window, then that should be fine, but if you're further inside a building, it's not going to work. And similarly, the launcher will not let you shoot your rocket if you're too close to the target location. So if they're standing near you on the floor and you're kind of aiming at the ground, it will say you're too close, you need to back up. You need to lock onto a vehicle by aiming down sight, and then it will kind of beep and then it will just say fire when you're prompted to with the trigger. Or you can also lock onto a location, so like an enemy, or if you're looking at the distance, if you actually want to aim at that place and lock onto it, what you do for that is you aim down sight with the launcher and then hold the trigger to lock onto a specific point, and it will beep and then it will fire automatically when you do that. And this is useful to kill enemies, obviously, so there's 2 different ways to lock on depending on what you're trying to lock onto. Due to how slow the rocket launcher takes to reach its target, you'll need to somewhat predict where enemies will be in order to try to get some kills. If you press the left analog stick, so L3 on PlayStation, LS on Xbox, this will toggle between normal vision and thermal vision, which shines enemies up bright white as long as they don't have cold-blooded perk on. So it's useful for seeing where enemies are that are sort of, maybe they're prone, hiding, that kind of thing. It's useful to kind of show them. Okay, so those are the tips. Now let's actually talk about how to go towards gold challenge. So the first main task is to level up the JOKR to level 11 to unlock the base camo challenge. So how do we actually level up our launcher? Well, the JOKR is very hard to level up compared to normal weapons because you have to lock onto vehicles or lock onto people, whatever. The rocket has to launch high into the sky before descending onto that spot, and it's very time consuming and difficult to get kills. So what you can do, there's 3 different methods we'll talk about for leveling up your weapons fast in this video. I would just point out that you can get XP for your launcher by shooting enemies or bashing them with your weapon, like meleeing them, that will count too. You can also destroy equipment or vehicles or kill streaks to earn weapon XP, that will all count as well. Other things would be doing certain objectives, and also using your decoy grenades as well, that will all count towards weapon XP. So the first method is by going to free-for-all. There's lots of score streaks like UAVs and things like that in the sky, so keep shooting them down as fast as possible because it takes quite a while for the rocket to reach the score streak. So if you don't do it quick enough, it will fly off and it won't count, or someone else will shoot it down. So you want to, as soon as you hear the UAVs in the sky, you want to look up, you'll have the spotter perk on, it will show up red, and then you want to shoot it down as quickly as possible. And you can also try to go for kills with the weapon as well, either by locking onto an area and kind of predicting where enemies will be, or by bashing them with your weapon. The second method is by going into either invasion or ground war. Invasion's probably better because it's got AI bots, and what you want to do is hang around busy areas with lots of enemies and lock onto that area to kill them. So for example, people often hang around flag objectives on ground war, or you know, on these larger maps for either invasion or ground war, they'll be on rooftops looking at enemy spawn points. There'll be people hanging around there, or there'll be people spawning in. But alternatively, you can get to a high vantage point like a tall building or a rooftop to get a better view of enemies, to kind of kill them from that point of view. So if you're standing on a high building, you can look down onto the ground, see where enemies are. So you need to also look for vehicles and kill streaks to destroy, and again this spotter perk helps with that because it shines them up red. So look out for those, destroy them as soon as possible so they don't get destroyed or fly off, and you can use decoy grenades to get more weapon XP as well, like I say. So that's quite a useful method. The third method is if you're struggling with the previous two, it's really quite good for leveling up weapons despite the fact it's kind of unconventional, and it's that you want to go into kill confirmed. Running around with a sluggish launcher is not going to be great in kill confirmed for getting kills. However, there are a few useful ways in that mode you can get weapon XP. First of all, you want to collect kill confirmed dog tags, so collect as many of those as you can because that will give you weapon XP too. Second of all, throwing your decoy grenades into high flow areas will get you decoy assists, and this gives you weapon XP towards leveling up your weapons, so that's very useful as well. And thirdly, you can also try to get a few lock on rocket launcher kills, so lock on to an area that's really busy, near an enemy spawn, something like that. Lock onto that, hopefully you'll get 1 or 2 kills from that. That'd be good every time. And also if there's any enemies that you're near or that you kind of snuck up to, you can punch them with your Joker and that will earn you weapon XP as well. Okay, so after getting the rocket launcher to level 11, you'll unlock the get 40 kills with the Joker challenge, which you must work towards. So the best mode for this, there's 2 main methods. The first one, you could play modes like free for all to get kills, again punch enemies with a Joker rather than shooting it to get those 40 kills. You can also shoot it every now and then as well, but punching will probably be more effective. If you want to do something different, go for it, but I find this is not as helpful and it can be quite slow and frustrating by dying lots. So the other method is ground war. This is really good. You don't want to play invasion as it has AI bots, and these look very similar to enemy players. You can't really tell them apart a lot of the time, and these actually don't count towards your camo challenges, shooting the bots. You have to kill actual players. So that is why ground war's better, because ground war doesn't have those bots, whereas invasion does. So ground war's a large match, there's lots of enemies, big map, so it's quite useful. Now, what do you actually want to do when you're trying to get these 40 kills? Well, I recommend getting to higher up areas to see enemies better, so like tall buildings, or you can spawn in a helicopter and it'll let you stand, look out over the edge of the helicopter and actually look down at the ground, and that's quite useful because if you're looking down on enemy players, you can see where they are and it's easier to get the kill. Just make sure you're standing right at the edge of the helicopter, otherwise it won't let you fire your launcher. You just want to focus on enemy kills and nothing else, obviously, so don't go getting loads of UAVs and tanks and stuff. You just want to be focusing on the kills, although sometimes destroying sort of vehicles like helicopters can get you some kills in the process, but you might have to shoot it several times, so it's up to you how you want to balance it. But yeah, just try and focus on the kills. Don't forget to flank around the edge of the map to get closer to the action and busy parts on the map to get more kills, and check enemy spawns as there'll be often lots of enemies clustered together here, and you might get some people that's inactive altogether, and that's a free kill, so really useful. You can also try to melee punch enemies with the Joker to get kills, and these, like I say, count towards the 40 kills, so you don't have to do it with the shooting. The launcher, you can also punch them too. And if you run past any ammo reserves, stock up on ammo, even if you've not run out yet, because you start with 2, you can get an extra 1, and then after you've used up those 3 rockets, you can then use your munitions boxes. You should get 1 to 2 quite easily, and then go back to using the ammo reserves if you need more. There'll be a cooldown period on it, so you can go back to refill it once, then maybe go to another ammo reserve and then back again, and then switch between that and your munitions boxes. And obviously if after a while you're struggling to get ammo quickly, then obviously just kill yourself and you'll get 2 more for free. You also want to watch out for flashes and glint effect if you're kind of doing long distance combat, because that will mean a sniper's looking at you. You're at risk of getting killed by snipers and other weapons, so definitely be aware of that. And then also you want to keep an eye on your minimap and compass and call in a UAV to find more enemies as well, so kind of really be aware of where enemies are to try and go towards the busy areas to get more kills. So honestly, it's a bit annoying, but it shouldn't be too difficult or too time consuming, so you should do it in a few games. So once you've gotten those 40 kills, you'll have completed the base challenge, and then you'll unlock the final gold camo challenge, which is to get 2 kills without dying 10 times with the Joker. So the best game mode again for this is ground war, obviously not invasion because you can't kill the bots and it's difficult to know which is which, so definitely ground war. And then for my tips for this, what would I recommend? Well, you can either get a double kill, so like 2 kills with 1 shot, which is normally easier but it's rarer. That's one way to get 2 kills in one life, and actually you'd be surprised at the number of double or triple kills you get. There's more than you think. Alternatively, you can do it where you get 2 separate kills, so 1 and then another separately, although for this it's more risky because you're more likely to die, so just keep trying to get kills, but that's another way to do it. Now, just as a note, one of the 2 kills in a life can be by punching an enemy with your weapon too, so definitely make sure you know that, because sometimes it's easier to kind of sneak up to an enemy or someone's near you, you can come and punch them and then shoot the second enemy with your launcher, and that will count as a double kill or 2 kills in one life. So don't feel like you have to do it by shooting the launcher, you can punch them too. And seeing as you want to try to get double kills to make this challenge easier, you want to try to head towards or aim down sight at areas with more potential enemies. So for example, enemy spawns, ground war objective flags, middle or popular areas of the map, that kind of thing. And you want to try to predict where enemies are going and aim the rocket launcher to fire there a bit in front of where the enemy is going, so that by the time they reach that point, the rocket will kill them, if that makes sense. So if they're running towards like an objective, or it looks like they are, fire at that objective, and then by the time they get there, the rocket should reach them and it will be a much easier kill. Otherwise, if you're just trying to catch up with them, you're never going to win because the rocket is much slower than the person. Now, similar similar to what I said before, if you run past any ammo reserves, you want to stock up on ammo so you can get your 3 rockets, 2 from spawning, 1 from the ammo reserve, then 2 from your munitions boxes easily, and then you can go back to using ammo reserves and then munitions boxes and switch between them. So that's quite useful. Again, watch out for flashes or glints because snipers will be looking at you, especially if you're trying to get 2 kills in one life. It's quite risky, so try and take cover when possible, go prone, hide behind cover, especially if you're on rooftops or high buildings, because you're very vulnerable and people will be looking out for you, especially if you're in a popular spot. You want to also keep an eye out on your minimap or compass, like I say, and use your UAV to find where enemies are. And if you're struggling with good spots to find, there'll be some in this gameplay, so kind of make note of where I'm going and what I'm doing, and that should help you do it. This is a bit more frustrating than the 40 kills just because there's no guarantee how many you're going to get in a life, but you shouldn't take too long with this either. You should be getting at least 1 to 3 of these 2 kills in one life every game, if not more, so it shouldn't take you too many games. So I know this challenge can be quite frustrating, but that is how to get gold camo fast for the Joker. If you found this useful, be sure to leave a like so that other people can find the video too, because it did take quite a while to put this guide together. And make sure you go and check out any other gold camo guides if you need help with that. I've got a playlist for that in the description and a card on screen, so feel free to check it out, because I know a lot of people were struggling with certain challenges. I'm covering other things like the combat knife, other launchers, the shield, and then other weapon categories like assault rifles and so on. And if you like what you see, make sure you subscribe by clicking the bell icon to stay up to date with all my latest Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone videos. But thank you so much for watching, hope you found it useful, and I'll see you guys all on the next one.